Have you noticed or have you seen anybody in your family or somebody you know that has a colostomy? Have you ever heard of colon cancer? Have anybody who has diabetes and maybe colon cancer? Or they have another type of cancer and they're struggling with high and low blood sugars or cholesterol issues, things like that. So I want to talk about Colostomy Ken and also John Cena, who now has a doll with a colostomy. We have normalized the idea that it's okay to have a colostomy. Well, I am a mindful eating coach, Diane Greco-Allen, food relationship, functional medicine certified health coach, and nutrition counselor. And I can tell you there are ways to avoid getting a colostomy, or if you've already been in that place, how to get it reversed and have a functional bowel. Because once you start down that path of having all kinds of issues in your bowel, it could lead to having a colostomy. And I did take care of many people with colostomies in my lifetime as a nurse. Also, I nearly dated a guy, and I almost have to go back and say I'm sorry for this, but I called him Colostomy Kid. He was a guy that was a neighbor gentleman who asked to go out on a date. And I knew so much about colostomies that I just couldn't do it. And I was overwhelmed with everything else that I was dealing with myself. So I'm here to talk about what the functional gut is and functional bowel, and understanding that what we eat every day is so very important. How we eat every day is super important. And the 5 W's that I have in my book, the book is called It Might Be Your Pancreas, and it's natural digestive recovery and pancreatitis awareness. But what you have to know is that those 5 W's are all about your portion size, how to give some breaks in between during the day so you're not compounding issues and putting a lot of stress on your digestive system, and allowing some of these things to be processed, because then it eventually affects your brain. And if you've ever heard of anybody having learning disabilities or processing delays, there's a number of factors that come into play, but one of those might be the learning disabilities could be from eating the wrong types of foods, causing leakages in the gut wall, the lining of the gut, and also if for Crohn's disease and diverticulitis and diverticulosis, these are just stages of disease. Now, some of these can be related to our eating habits, but they could also be related to the wrong types of foods, maybe foods that are infected with, getting a norovirus or something of that nature. So there's so many different compounding factors, but we have to come back to our eating hygiene, our kitchen hygiene, how we handle our food, and thinking about how it's all in our hands to help us recover from any of these digestive issues. So I don't want anyone to have to get a colostomy. I took care of plenty of people with colostomies. And Marge Strite from Mercy Hospital was the best colostomy nurse I ever met, and she did a lot of colostomy care. And there's one more thing I just wanted to add real quick, because I don't want to make this too long. So I go over a lot of different books about what you can test for different disorders. And, it just so happened right before I turned this on, it opened up to hepatitis. And so I thought a lot of people are they're concerned about the word hepatitis, that it's always related to some virus. It might be related to IV use, could be related with drug use, but it's related to food if it's improperly handled or has some kind of that it comes in its unsafe form. So there are so many things that the HBV, hepatitis B virus, there's hepatitis A, there's so many different types, but just think of the word hepatitis. That means it's an inflammatory condition. Same with pancreatitis. It's usually an inflammatory condition. But with pancreatitis, once you engage in too many episodes of pancreatitis, you're going to cause shrinkage of that organ and non-functional cells that can't perform what their duties are supposed to be with your food eating habits. So if you're trying to digest your food, if that pancreas is not able to work, it's going to hurt, first of all, and then there's going to be a lot of pain, and usually it's like right up in your upper abdomen into your back. And so that those types of things you should be aware of. And I'm very happy to see that they're saying that nutritional considerations for hepatitis is that you need to have adequate nutrition, but understanding that there is pain associated sometimes to eating because of the inflammation. So you want to stay away from foods that create inflammation. And in the beginning, you need to be very careful about what foods you're introducing and how often throughout the day. So you want to try to avoid that late night eating. When you get up in the morning, you want to get foods into you that are producing energy and not causing a lot of stress. And sometimes we're so used to grabbing a cup of coffee with some kind of creamer in it. And that coffee creamer and that coffee, when you're drinking it all day long, actually makes that, it's like stressing your pancreas. You're asking that pancreas to work for you even on its off hours. So that's like doing double shifts and triple shifts, and nobody likes to do that. And then you become angry with that sleep finger, because then sometimes you can't sleep at night, or you're waking up, or you're having night sweats. All these things are related to the types of foods we eat and how they trigger our blood sugar and our digestive enzymes, and then how they can throw your pH, your stomach pH, out of balance. And that's why so many people are on the antacids. So I want you to think about how not to get a colostomy. I don't want anybody ever to have an issue where your bowel gets distorted, or you have acute abdominal cramps, and sometimes it's because of the way you're eating and the types of foods you're eating. And some of those foods that say healthy sometimes aren't so healthy, or you're drinking your food and you really need to get that fiber for everything to go through. So Diane Greco-Allen, I hope you'll reach out. If you have any comments below, or you know somebody that went through terrible surgeries because of not understanding nutrition, or they're having issues that they can't get out of these spaces and places, and they're having a lot of abdominal cramping, because we need to find out how to make you well together. We can look at some things and work together to figure out how to smooth things out and get that intestine to work more functionally, and to prevent those gaping holes, or those little things that are occurring in there that cause the diverticulitis or whatever. And those can be extremely painful, and they can knock you down. I know a lot of people that are dealing with that, and also it can lead to some bleeding inside, and that's very worrisome. And then sometimes that prevents you from being social. And there's so many, it just keeps going, because you want to be functionally well to be able to help yourself to have that environment of being out and about with other people. Diane Greco-Allen, have a wonderful day. Reach out if you'd like some information. Subscribe to my channel. I'll put anything down in the comment section if you'd like to comment. And know that we're looking for prevention, intervention, taking out the bad things, detoxing. We want to be safe with that, and working together as buddies to understand. I can give you advice. I am not going to heal everything in you, but we can work together to help make you feel better so that you can be more productive and enjoy your life. Diane Greco-Allen, Food Relationship Coach. Have a wonderful day, and send me any questions or comments that you have. Thanks.